Welcome to the Christian Success Show, the show that helps you achieve more success in every area of your life. I'm your host, Wes Young. Thank you for joining me today. The Christian Success Show is brought to you by Christian-Success.com. Visit Christian-Success.com to join the community and check out the special $7 deals designed to help you achieve big success in specific areas of your life. If you want personal help achieving more success, you can find out how to work with the top Christian life, success, and business coach and consultant at Christian-Success.com/coach. Now, let's get started with today's show. Today's show is the power of massive action. And I want to cover with you why it's so important to take massive action if you're trying to achieve more success in any area of your life. We've been taught as we grow up that in order to achieve things, we have to do things in a sequential order. You have to do one thing before you do another, or you have to take steps. And in some areas that's correct, but when you're trying to achieve more success, often this actually holds you back when you could be taking action in many different ways. Instead, you're waiting for one thing to happen before you do something else, and this can really impede your progress towards achieving the success you want. And the first big point I want to make here about the power of massive action is you don't have to take small sequential steps to achieve what you want to achieve. You get to decide. No one else gets to decide what you should or shouldn't do. So you don't have to take small sequential steps. You can take 5 big steps at one time going in different directions if that's what's going to bring you closer to your success goal. Or you can take a dozen different actions at one time. Or sometimes maybe you do need to take one thing before the next. But don't make the mistake of assuming you have to do one thing before the next, or you have to do things in a sequential order just because that's what you've been taught, or that's what other people suggest, or things like that. If you want to have massive success, one of the keys is to take massive action. And when I say massive action, I don't mean getting up and spending 5 minutes on your goal, or spending an hour in the evening on your goal. I'm talking about figuring out every single thing you can do to bring you closer to what you want in success in an area of your life or in different areas of your life. And once you figure out all of these different things, put as many of them as possible into immediate action. Don't wait on anything. Get started, and get started on as many of them as possible. Now, it can become a little bit overwhelming and confusing when you're trying to do a dozen things at once, but that doesn't mean that you can't work on a dozen things basically at the same time. You can work on one at a time, but still work on 5 or 10 or a dozen things every day or every week. You don't have to work on them all at the exact same time, as far as you lose quite a bit of effectiveness when you're trying to do 2 or more things at once. But what I'm talking about is you have a success goal in your life, and you identify 20 things that can help you get closer to achieving that success goal. And maybe you can work on 10 of them within the next week. You're not working on 10 at the exact same time, but you're going to put 10 of them in motion over the next week. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what massive action is. So when you're doing each individual one, you're still concentrating on the one thing so you don't lose effectiveness, but you're putting more than one thing in motion at a time. I'm going to give you a couple examples that I've used massive action with over my life to achieve success. I was writing a book one time, and it was really dragging out, and I was struggling, and I'd started and stopped, and this went on for about 6 months. And I finally got tired of my procrastination because it wasn't getting me where I wanted to be. I mean, I wanted the success of having that book finished. So basically, I sat down and I wrote the entire book in 3 days. Now, I'm not saying that I just wrote the book out of thin air, because during the 6 months before, I'd been thinking about it. I had the chapters outlined. I knew what I wanted to say. It was just the fact of getting it done. And once I decided to take massive action, it only took me 3 days to complete the entire book. Of course, after that, I had to edit it and do some other things. But basically, the main work was done within 3 days. This show is another example. I've been thinking about different ways to use different media for probably several years now, and I have used different media to do different things. But this show, this that you're listening to right now, I'd been thinking about in different variations for at least 6 to 8 months, and then I finally reached a point where I decided it was time to take massive action. And what I did was I sat down, I mapped out topics for the first 20 shows, and then I got started, and I recorded 10 shows in 1 week, and then I recorded 5 the next week, and then I sat down and I mapped out over 100 topics, and then I just kept taking massive action, and that's how it came to life. Once you start taking massive action and start seeing results, then you start building momentum. And the momentum is a wonderful thing because it helps you stay on track. And also, you should keep your long-term success goal in front of your mind and focus on that. And that helps you keep up the momentum also. But when you take massive action, you start seeing results, and that helps you stay on track. Now, when you take massive action, some things are going to fail. You're not going to be successful in everything you do if you take massive action. But I want to tell you, it's very important to understand that this is okay. Everything you try does not have to be a success. Here's an example. If you do 10 things in massive action that are supposed to bring you closer to whatever success you're working on, and if 2 or 3 of them don't work out, or you basically fail at 2 or 3 of them, you still succeed in 7 or 8 of them, and that brings you closer to your success goals and what you want. So massive action, you're going to have some roadblocks and stumbling blocks, and you're going to fail in some areas. But the magic of massive action is you've got so many successes, and so many things are working that are bringing you closer to your success goals, that it's easier to accept when things don't go well. If you're working at one thing at a time sequentially and something fails, then that's the only thing you've got working. So then you've got to start over, build back up momentum. But when you're trying 10 things at once and 2 or 3 of them fail, or even if half of them fail, you've still got momentum from the half that are bringing you closer. So massive action has many, many benefits. Make a list of everything you can do to achieve whatever success you want in your life right now. Take as much time as you need and jot down everything on that list, every small, medium, and large thing that can bring you closer to the success you want in your life right now. And if you're trying to achieve success in more than one area, make a separate list for each thing. Keep adding to this list or these lists over time as you think of new things. These lists are growing and living things, and keep going back to them. And then do as many of them as you can. Take massive action right now to get started. And I want to give you one more thing that you can probably use, that I've used a few times in my life, to help and how taking massive action helps. I've used the power of massive action a few times when everything seemed to be going wrong. All of my plans seemed to be failing. Everything I was doing seemed to not be working out. I wasn't making the progress I wanted to. And the truth is, when this happens, it's easy to get down on yourself. It's easy to take the doom and gloom attitude and to let this slow you down or stop you in your progress towards whatever success you're working towards. And what I've done when I got to feeling that way is I just took some time and stopped everything I was doing, and I did what I suggested you do earlier. I made a list of everything that could possibly bring me closer to the goal or the success that I was working towards and I was struggling with. And then I picked several things off that list and immediately put them into action. I took massive action, and the simple process of taking massive action helped bring me out of the doom and gloom thought and the failure mentality, because it got my mind working again, got me focused back on the success I was trying to achieve, and the action helped me build a little momentum. I would get one small win, and that would lead to another win and a bigger win. And, I was back to hitting 5 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 things I was trying, and it really brought me back out of the hole. And if you find yourself discouraged or down or beating yourself up because you're not making the progress you want towards your success and your goals, this is one thing you can do to help you get back on track and help you get your mind back straight and start making a little bit of progress. The power of massive action is something you can use in any area to help you achieve more success in your life. I want to sincerely thank you for joining me today. I know that you have plenty of options on how you spend your time, and it's an honor you're letting me help you achieve more success in your life. God bless you. Don't forget to check out the special $7 deals designed to help you achieve more success in specific areas of your life at Christian-success.com. If you want personal help achieving more success, you can find out how to work with the top Christian life, success, and business coach and consultant at Christian-success.com/coach. Have a blessed day.